Hi everyone, welcome back to the Kraftgali channel. So real quick announcement before we get started with this super fun project. The store is now open again. So they were closed for a family tragedy and our thoughts and prayers are definitely with them. The store is now open again and you may check it out and order and get all your goodies. Alright, so let's get started with this card. Today's project is going to feature Neat and Tangled Paint Night, which is such a super cute and fun stamp set. I can't even. It's so cute. So I'm going to take my embossing powder bag so I can get that nice and powdered up because I'm going to be doing some embossing with clear embossing powder. I'm going to use some VersaFine ink to stamp out my images, and then I'm going to cover them in clear embossing powder. Now I wanted to show you here real quick, I used my new stamp chamois, but before I get it all super inky, I'm going to take a piece of paper to stamp out the rest of the ink so I could keep my stamp chamois for longer. Now I know you can wash it, but this is brand new and it's hard to make it even inky the first time. It's like running die plates through your die cut machine the very first time. You know that it's going to get all kinds of warped and all kinds of beat up, but it just hurts the first time to put that through there. Okay, so I am going to heat set this clear embossing powder so that I have a very fun, easy way to color my images. I'm pulling out my Zig watercolor markers and then I'm just going to color. So if you want to skip the coloring, you can go to the time listed on the screen. If not, you can hang out with me while I color these images. Okay, so my choice of medium today to color my images is the watercolor markers. I like to use alcohol markers. I like to use watercolor markers. I'm getting into colored pencils a little bit more, but I think it's because it's the ease of coloring. So I don't use a whole lot of different colors for one image. For example, the hair, I used one color, and I'm not by any means saying that that looks like a professional colorist did it. What I am saying is sometimes I need to be able to color my images a little bit quicker, and sometimes I have time to take for my images. And if I'm doing coloring more as a therapeutic thing, then of course I don't feel a rush. But there are times when I like to get a card completed, or I have a card that I have to give away, and so I liked the option to do something a little bit faster. So I put down one color and I outline where I think the shading is. So that's pretty much where I place down the color first. Then I take a water brush and I pull the color out into where the lighter shades would be. And so that's kind of how I use one marker to get a shaded look. So as you can see, I did that on all the parts of the image so far of this little painter girl. So I'm going to, for the paintbrush, I'm actually going to make it a rainbow paintbrush. And so I take different colors and I'm just blending them together. This is probably the most blending that I do for this card as far as a mixture of colors. One of the wonderful things about the watercolor markers, the real brush, is that they do blend so beautifully. Okay, so over to my easel. I'm going to just color up the easel brown as if it was wood. And then because her paintbrush is rainbow, I'm going to take those rainbow colors back out and I'm just going to make a rainbow on the actual canvas. It's very simple, very easy, so fun. All right, so I get her and the palette colored in. Not the palette, that's not a palette, that is called a canvas. I did just say that. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to certain parts and I'm just going to reshade. I like to darken up the hair a little bit in certain parts, her face, and her arms and legs. And so that's it. We get them all colored up. All right, I'm going to take out this Neat and Tangled stencil that I got here, and I'm going to use my mica spray. The reason I'm going to do this is because I want a cool but subtle background. So this image from the stencil is cool. And using the grayish tone of the mica spray is going to give me a background that's muted so that the sentiment and my images stand out. So that's the point behind that. I'm going to fussy cut my images and then take a black marker to outline said images so that they look like they're perfect. And then I'm going to cut down my panel using a Lawn Fawn rectangle stitched die. Okay, once I get that set, I'm going to take out my MISTI and I'm going to use it to stamp my sentiment because I don't want to screw this up. And I'm going to stamp, "You add color to my world." I'm going to glue down my painter flat, but I'm actually going to add dimension to the canvas. I think that that just kind of gives a little bit of pop to the card because it's dimension, and who doesn't love dimension on their card? Okay, so I get that set down, and I'm just putting final touches on this card now. I'm going to add some Spectrum Noir sparkle pen to the rainbow. Now remember, they're water reactive, so you don't want to just mix completely. You want to make sure you're careful with that. I colored in the word color with some rainbow colors, and then I'm going to take my 110-pound cardstock, and I'm going to fold that, score it, and then fold it using my Teflon bone folder. Everything is set down, looks like we're ready to go, except I thought that this panel needed a little bit of a black mat behind it. There was something that it was just kind of blending into the background, and so I wanted to make it pop. So I did just that, and then I'm going to add it to my card base. So once that is added, that will finish up the card. I did, however, take out some Nuvo drops to use as paint and just place them on with a very pointed pick. So you can see all over the girl and her dress, there are splatters of paint, because I don't know about you, but I definitely get paint all over me when I do, when I paint. Okay, so that will do it for the card today. Thank you so much for joining us over here on the Kraftgali channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe in the upper left-hand corner, some more videos in the lower right-hand corner, and head over to the shop for all the amazing deals and awesome products you can find over there. We will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.